Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. I'm really happy to be with you. I'm really happy to be able to come and have the privilege of coming into your home. Tonight's guest is someone I like to consider a dear friend. You get really close to the people that you work with on a regular basis. I met him at a show, I believe it was Johnny Winter, actually, and we were not doing this show the way that we do it now, and everything about this show has changed and gotten better because of our guest. Tonight he's going to share his music with you, and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I do. Please help me welcome into your home Mr. Jeff Mattson.
Thank you, Dot. And normally, I'm a working musician playing cover music all the time, so I took this opportunity today to do some original tunes that I don't normally get to do when I'm out playing. So, the first song I'm going to do, I wrote way back in 1995, right as I was going through a major life change, and realized that painting houses was not what I wanted to do for a living anymore. I wanted to get back into playing music again, and so I went up into a very beautiful overlook, and I wrote this song. It's called "The Time for Me." Now's the time for me to try to find myself, 'cause I'm not the guy that I was trying to be. So I'll take my time, forget about the reason, and realize sometimes there is no rhyme, and I don't think I can take it anymore, 'cause the world around me is all I've been living for. Time for changing, but I don't know which way to go. I'm rearranging my priorities, the things that make me glow. Can't live for the future, can't live in the past. Gotta take each new day and make it better, a little better than the last. And trying to survive, I've forgotten all the things I used to do that made me feel alive. What a cost. Try to make the future brighter, and yet another day's been lost. And I don't think I can take this anymore, 'cause the world around me is all I've been living for. Time for changing, but I don't know which way to go. Rearranging my priorities, the things that make me glow. Can't live for the future, can't live in the past. Gotta take each new day and make it better, a little better than the last. Now's the time for me to start my life again at the age of 33. So I'll take my time, forget about the reason, and I don't think I can take it anymore. 'Cause the world around me is all I've been living for. Time for changing, but I don't know which way to go. Rearranging my priorities, the things that make me glow. Can't live for the future, can't live in the past. Gotta take each new day and make it better, a little better. You gotta take each day and make it better than the last. Now's the time for me. Thank you. The next song I'm going to do, I wrote even longer ago than that, and it's about a struggle that all of us musicians have when our partner is somebody that works in the day and we work in the night. It's called Just Like Yesterday. Well, I woke up this morning to the alarm clock's warning to see you walking out the door. Will I see you for an hour? Well, I wish I had the power so I could be with you some more. Well, I'll be here forever, but yet I can't be here today. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, but tomorrow might be just like yesterday. I fix you up a winner. Hurry and eat so I won't be late. When I come home, you're sleeping. Into my room I'm creeping. I wanna wake you, but I hesitate. 'Cause I'll be here forever, but yet I can't be here today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow might be just like yesterday. Look for tomorrow. Why is it nowhere in sight? Look for tomorrow. Hold it, I think I seen the light. And a schemer, but I know which way I've got to go. Well, I know that you're with me. I hope that you're with me, 'cause I need you here with me, you know. And I'll be here forever, but yet I can't be here today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow might be just like yesterday. Just like yesterday. Just like yesterday. Just like yesterday. Thank you. Well, if I knew which way was up, then I would not be down. If I knew where I was going to, then I could pick my head up off the ground. 'Cause times of love only lead to times of pain. Though I once felt the sun, now all I feel is rain. And if I had to do it all again, would I play my cards the same? When I think about what went wrong, I know I've no one but myself to blame. Should've known you'd outgrown all the love that I'd shown, and you needed some kind of change. I guess it ain't that strange. And I gotta know, how do you feel, and is it real? Said I gotta know, how do you feel, is it real, babe? Said I gotta know, how do you feel, and is it real? Oh, I said I gotta know, how do you feel, and is it real? Should've known you'd outgrown all the love that I had shown, and you needed some kind of change. Well, I guess it ain't that strange. And if I knew which way was up, then I would not be down. If I knew where I was going to, then I could pick my head up off the ground. 'Cause times of love, well, they only lead to times of pain. Though I once felt the sun, now all I feel is rain. And it's pouring down on me. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next song I got to tell a little story about. You know, when I was a young adult, my mother gave me this thing called a credit card. And even though she thought it was a good thing to do for me, it really was a bad thing to do, because I started using it for everything that I thought were emergencies. You know, like my car broke down, that's an emergency, and oh, I can't pay my rent, so that's an emergency, and so I better get a cash advance. And so I got into debt. But one of the things that got me most into debt was this other thing that I had called a wife. Anyway, I'm just really kind of kidding on that, because we both were guilty of it. But I'm going to need your guys' help here in the studio and at home with this song, because, okay, you got to picture you're in a ballpark, a baseball park, and you hear the organ player, and he goes,
Charge!
there you go. Now, all you guys got to do it, right?
Charge! Charge!
Okay, so every time I do that, you got to do that part, because that way I don't have to do that part. All right, so we're going to start off with that part, and then we're going to go into the song. All right, here we go.
Charge! Charge! Charge!
She loved me in the morning, she held me at night. Really don't know what she did when I was out of sight. She swore she wouldn't use them when she took them to the mall. But I knew that she'd use them, I knew she'd use them all. Discover, Visa, MasterCard, Express. To this day I'll never know which one she loved the best. When times were cool, she liked to roam. When the times got hard, I knew that she'd be coming home. She loved me for my credit card.
Charge!
She took him out to dinner, she took him to the show. She used him on everything and everywhere she'd go. She'd know she even used him when she got thrown into jail. I had to get a cash advance to get her out on bail. Discover, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. To this day I'll never know which one she loved the best. When times are cool, she liked to roam. When the times got hard, knew that she'd be coming home. She loved me for my credit card.
Charge! Charge! Charge!
The moral of the story and the reason for the verse, although I thought would get better, it ended up much worse. I knew that she would use them on most anything she can, but boy was I surprised to find she charged herself a man. Discover, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. To this day I'll never know which one she loved the best. When times were cool, she liked to roam. When the times got hard, knew that she'd be coming home. She loved me for my credit card. When times were cool, she liked to roam. When the times got hard, knew that she'd be coming home. She loved me for my credit card.
Cute.
Okay, so I'm probably going to have to do a cover song here because I don't want to run out of time before my last couple songs. So I'm going to do a cover of a song done by the band. When I get off this mountain, well, you know where I'm gonna go. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico. Lake Charles, Louisiana, lived the best girl I once knew. And she told me just to come on by if there's anything she could do. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me, a drunkard's stream, if ever did see one. Well, good luck had just struck me. To the racetrack I did go. She bet on one horse to win, and I bet on another to show. The odds were in my favor. You know I had them nearly 5-1. And the nag to win came round the track. Sure enough, we had won. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She bends me, I don't have to speak, 'cause she defends me, a drunkard stream, if ever did see one. Well, I took up all my winnings, and I gave my little Bessie half. She tore it up and threw it in my face, just for a laugh. There's one thing in this whole wide world that I really love to see. It's when that little love of mine dips her donut in my tea. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak, 'cause she defends me, a drunkard stream, if ever did see one. Now me and my mate, we were back at the shack. We had Spike Jones on the box. She said, I can't take the way he sings, but I love to hear him talk. That just made my heart throb to the bottom of my feet. You know, deep down I gotta tell you that my Bessie can't be beat. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me, a drunkard stream, if ever did see one. Well, as it poured out in California, and up north it's freezing cold, and this living on the road is getting kind of old. So I guess I'll call up my big mama, tell her I'll be rolling in. But deep down, I'm really kind of tempted to go and see my Betsy again. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me, a drunker stream, if ever did see one. Thank you very much. Okay, the next song I'm going to do for you is a song about something that happens to all of us in our lifetimes, where the situations that are around us get us to this point of anger and rage. And most of us handle that pretty civilly, and we do something like, hit a telephone book or something to get our anger out. But sometimes it gets a lot worse than that. And at the time I was writing this song, something happened back in California, and O.J. Simpson was on the freeway under all the cameras being followed by all the police. And so anyway, I kind of incorporated that into this song because that would be the more extreme version of this rage. And this is a song called Outside Your Mind. It's hard to see when you're close, leaving reality far behind. The hate you feel engrosses you, forgetting all that's real for a little while. If you look, you might still find that there's a world outside your mind. How did you become so blind that you can't see outside your mind? How do you know when you're getting close to the point of letting go? The razor's edge. Open your eyes and don't be blinded by the hatred and the lies inside your wicked mind. If you look, you might still find that there's a world outside your mind. How did you become so blind that you can't see outside your mind? Ask anyone who knows me, I'm not the kind of guy who would carry on this way. No. I was just having a bad day. If I can't take this pain, how can I refrain from being mean? Do you really think I wanted to have this turn into such a violent scene? As anyone who knows me, I'm not the kind of guy who'd carry on this way. No. That's all my lawyers will let me say. It's hard to see when you cross the line, leaving reality far behind. And the hate you feel engrosses you, forgetting all that's real for a little while. If you look, you might just find that there's a world outside your mind. How did you become so blind that you can't see outside your mind? I know that's a little dark, but
Yeah, just a little bit, Jeff.
trust me, I didn't go as far as OJ did. All I did was flip over a coffee table. I mean, okay. So my next song, I just wrote this. I actually started writing this about a year ago, and I just finished it yesterday. So hopefully it all comes out good. But there's a little story that goes along with this song too, so I'm going to tell that. Way back when I was a kid, all my friends said, when I grow up, I want to be somebody. Well, I thought about that, and I probably overthought about that because I usually do overthink things. And I looked at them and I said, well, I'd rather be nobody. And they looked at me with a puzzled look and they said, why would you want to be nobody? And I said, because nobody knows everything. So I decided to become nobody. And throughout my life, I always kind of used that as a little play on words. But I never wrote a song about it until about a year ago. So here it is. This is called The Great Nobody. I am the great nobody, the answer to all of your prayers. 'Cause nobody likes you, and nobody loves you, and nobody really cares. Well, the first time I knew that I was nobody was when the teacher kept everyone after school. She said one does wrong and everyone must stay. Nobody is the exception to the rule. So I became the great nobody, the answer to all of your prayers. 'Cause nobody likes you, nobody loves you, and nobody even cares. Well, the second time I realized I was nobody was when I read my girlfriend's letter. She said she loved someone before, but nobody does it better. So I'm the great nobody, the answer to all your prayers. 'Cause nobody loves you, nobody needs you, and nobody really cares. They say nobody gets out of here alive. They say nobody is immune. They say nobody can do this or that, and nobody sings a better tune. So I am the great nobody, the answer to all of your prayers. 'Cause nobody likes you, and nobody loves you, and nobody really cares. And when it comes to politics, I'm sure that we can all agree nobody has the solution. So everyone should cast their vote for me, 'cause I am the great nobody, the answer to all your prayers. 'Cause nobody likes you, and nobody loves you, and nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. I said, nobody is perfect. Nobody does it right. Nobody knows the truth. Nobody has seen God. Nobody. I said, nobody. I said, nobody gets out of here alive. So I am the great nobody, the answer to all of your prayers. 'Cause nobody likes you, nobody loves you, and nobody really cares. That's right, nobody really cares. I said, nobody really cares. That's right, nobody. Nobody really cares.
Nice.
Thank you. And nobody wants to go talk to Grandma.
Oh, please do. Please do. Well, Jeff is coming over. Let me remind you about small shops in downtown New London. We have the Eyeglass Lash. She's doing wonderful things. Some of the tattoo shops, we've got New London Ink, we've got Skin Deep. They're doing wonderful things with specials. Remember, if we support downtown, if we support our local businesses, then we're keeping the money in our own community, and that's really important. I also want to give a great shout out to our local law enforcement. They're doing some really hard work right now. We've got some tough things going on in our city, and I just want to thank them all for their hard work. We wouldn't be where we are without our people that serve this community. So anyway, let's talk to Jeff. Jeff, I can't even tell you how happy I am to have you on this side of the camera.
Well, thank you, Dot. I'm glad to be here.
How's it feel?
Great.
It's nice to be on this side of the camera once in a while.
Yeah, it is. Nice to be able to do some original tunes.
They were all really good. I like that last one. I think we really have to put that one on the radio.
Okay.
Okay?
I haven't even come close to recording it yet
Well,
because I
it's
just
time.
finished it yesterday.
Yeah, it's a good song. The other one, the one that you did that was so dark, every time you did your little low voice with it, all I could think of was the Alice Cooper with Vince Price. Do you remember Welcome to My Nightmare?
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness, that's how dark that song is. So, ooh. So
Something about it, it didn't work right if I said it. I had to kind of whisper it.
no, it worked that way. It worked that way for sure. Where do you get your inspiration to write songs, Jeff?
It's about life. It's always about life. And I'm not one of those songwriters that writes a bunch of songs. Maybe over the course of 30 years, I've written 20 songs.
Nice, and they're all really good, right?
Well, I like them all.
Every song that you've done, every song that you did here today, I really liked.
But
So-
they're all very different from each other.
They are.
Because it just has to do with what I'm going through at the time. And sometimes it's serious, and sometimes I like to make a joke about it, like the credit card thing, because, you know, it really wasn't her fault. But I was trying to figure out what she loved me for, so I said, she must love me for my credit card. Obviously, that didn't work out, but I have a wonderful wife now, so, and she doesn't love me for my credit card because I don't have one.
Well, I was going to get to your wife, by the way. That's part of the interview, so we will talk about that. When you and I met, we were both at a concert, so I know that you're an avid music lover. Where did you find your music love from, and how early in your life did you discover your love for music?
Well, according to my mother, I hummed before I could talk.
Nice.
So it goes way back to the beginning. When I was 5 years old, I started playing piano. I played piano for 5 years. Then I went to drums. But let me back up a little bit. When I was 8 years old and still playing piano, my mother got me into music theater, and so I actually was in music theater for a couple of years. I did a major presentation of South Pacific in San Jose. I was one of the kids of the plantation owner. So I had one song to sing and then a couple ensemble numbers. And when we do the rehearsals in the theater, I had nothing to do a lot of the time when everything else was going on. So I went up into the catwalks and looked at what the lighting guys were doing and looked at what the sound guys were doing, and I was just checking everything out and the props and everything, and I really found my love right there in the theater, and I still love doing that today, and that was really the catalyst. So then I went on to playing drums for a few years, and at 15 I started playing guitar and singing, and by the time I was 21 I was working full-time in a top 40 band in the Bay Area, 6 nights a week, and making my living at it and supporting myself, and it's really all I know how to do is entertainment, either on this side of it or on the other side of it.
Now, you said that you're really into theater, but you pride yourself on being, and I will say this without any apologies, as one of the best sound men in the area in the business. And I believe that you are. I tell people that you are all the time.
Well, thank you.
And where do you think that you found that you could be as good of a sound man as you are? Where did that come from? Obviously, it started in the theater, but what made you turn to sound instead of lighting or directing or whatever?
Well, when I started my first band when I was 16, I bought the PA. I was the singer, even though I really couldn't sing at all back then. So I had to learn how to do sound. And because I had a PA, other bands started asking me to do sound. And so that's how I really got my start in it. And then I got a 4-track recorder and started recording some of my own songs. Mm-hmm. And so I actually refined that skill then. And then throughout the 80s, I really wasn't doing any of that. I was playing in a band, but I wasn't doing any kind of sound work. And then in 1995, I moved to the Palm Springs area of California, where my best friend was working for a sound company, and he told me he could get me both back in the music scene and into the sound business. And so,
nice.
So that was where I really became a professional at doing it, because I was put in that spot where I had to. And really, it's all about having a good ear, knowing what the equipment is that you're using, and caring. That's the biggest part, is caring about what it sounds like, because it doesn't matter whether it's somebody's wedding, whether it's a fashion show or whatever it is. It's their event, and it needs to sound good. People need to hear what the people are saying clearly, because if they can't, then it just ruins everything. So right. That really is where, I feel like my best thing is I actually care. I sit through the whole show, and every time something needs an adjustment, I'm right there doing it, because it matters to me that it comes off as good as it possibly can.
Well, I've had people say that the best sound on public access television anywhere is our show. And I have to tell them it has nothing to do with me. It's really you that make the sound on this show so perfect. And I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Well, thank you, Dot.
Now, part of the year you leave us and you go away, and it's horrible. We have to book shows and tape shows 100 in advance before you leave. What is it you're doing when you're away from us?
I work for a touring company that does celebrity tribute artists. And we tour country clubs, 55 plus communities, places like that, and some small theaters. But he has 4 different tribute artists, and they sing to track. So all they don't have a band behind them. All they have is me to make their performance bigger than life. And in order to be Cher or Celine Dion or Michael Bublé or whoever happens to be the person that we have, Aretha Franklin, in order to be that person, they need the sound to be like big, like it's supposed to be for that person. And so that's what I do for them. And he doesn't want to try to find somebody else that knows that the way to do that, because it took a long time to figure out all the quirks of all these different buildings that we go into and the acoustic problems that we have and everything else. And they're 55 plus people. They don't like it extremely loud, but music needs to be loud to be felt.
Yep.
And I've discovered that you can have the music loud. If it's clear, nobody complains about it.
If it's clear and isn't bottomed out with bass.
Right, which is part of the clarity. It can
really
have,
is.
I mean, when we did Aretha Franklin, it's got lots of bass, or Donna Summer, lots of bass. But if you keep that bass out of the main speakers and just have it going in the sub
where it belongs.
Nice. It doesn't kill everybody, and
nice.
And then they can feel the music, because bass is actually the most important part of music when it comes to people feeling music. Because when I was probably like 17 years old, I played a party for deaf people.
They need the bass.
And they said, it doesn't matter what you play, just make sure that the bass is loud, and if the bass is loud, they will dance all night long. And they did, and they danced in time. And I realized, wow, well, if that does that to people that can't hear, imagine what it subconsciously is doing to all the people that can hear.
Exactly.
And they're paying attention to the rest of the music, but they're still feeling that bass, and that's what makes them dance. And so when you have music that, like Donna Summer or something like that, that's dance-oriented music, you really got to have a lot of bass.
Nice.
It's all about the bass. It's like that song says. It's all about the bass.
It's all about that bass. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
I don't really care for that song much myself, but
but
it is true.
I actually like that song. I actually like that song simply because it's all about that bass. So you keep talking about California. How did you end up here in especially New London area, Connecticut? You know, New London County, it's small, it's not well known. How did you end up here?
Well, it was a very freaky thing. I was playing Scrabble on an internet game site called Pogo, and
really,
and I wound up playing with my now wife Nancy, and as time went on, we became really good friends, and we learned about each other. So we decided to meet each other, and I came out here and I said, you know, this woman's right for me, so I'm just going to pack up my stuff and move on out there and give this a shot, because it's worth it. And
so over a internet game of Scrabble, you began a conversation with an unknown, and it turned into a love connection.
Absolutely.
Do you attribute
one worth leaving everything that I knew and starting over again, basically, in a new area.
Starting over again and bringing to our area your knowledge and your expertise. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much for playing Scrabble. We're so happy that you did. And then, and you've done a lot of other things. You have an innate love for animals. So what kind of animals do you love the most, and what do you do to prove that love to them?
Well, that's a tough question, because right now I have no animals, and I'm not allowed to have any animals. But I came over here with an animal, and he was my cat. His name was Spunky, and he was the best cat ever.
Ever.
And unfortunately, Spunky, he didn't realize that, he moved from the desert to here, and he thought that white stuff outside was sand, but it was really snow, and he didn't really like that cold sand very much. And he did not have a good time here, and he got sick, and he died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But he'll always be in my heart. And at some point, I will have another animal, but we can't have where I live right now. So.
But you do help people with theirs, don't you? Don't you take care of puppies and?
I do.
Puppy sit.
I help a
all
lady
that
who
stuff.
raises Labradors.
That's a
Take
cool
care of
thing
her
to do.
puppies.
Now, if you were going to this is my question. You know what this is. You know this question,
Okay,
right?
well, before you get to that question,
Let's talk about some of
Can-
your gigs coming up. Right? Is that what you want to say?
I do want to talk about something coming up because it's a very big something for me. And starting September 20th at the Moose Lodge in Bozrah, me and my band Calicon are going to be hosting a new jam night on Tuesday nights.
Nice.
And the Moose Lodge there is a fantastic venue. It is just such a beautiful room, a beautiful site. There's a lake on the property. They've got food there, they've got drinks there, they've got everything, and it's cheap. So
So
we're really
starting
gonna
on
be
September 20th.
September 20th, which is a Tuesday, and it's going to go from 7 to 11 at night. And so if you want to come out and play with us, come on out. We're gonna do our best to make it the best jam in the valley, which there are so many good jams in the valley, and I want to plug all of them because without those, I would not be playing anywhere, because that was what I did when I came to Connecticut. I went to open mics and jam nights everywhere,
Yep.
met all the musicians, one thing led to another, and now I'm working. So I love the whole concept of open mics, and looking forward to that.
Well, that's a wonderful thing. Do you have any upcoming gigs before that?
Not with my band, no.
Okay,
We're
but
working on that.
that's nice. Now, I'm not sure I know too much about your band. Is there anybody I know in this band?
John Scroggins is
Okay,
the drummer. You
I
might
know
know
Johnny.
John. And Eric Tutel.
I know both of them. Wonderful. They're good musicians.
Yeah,
Well,
we
yeah.
have a lot of fun together.
I can't imagine you having poor musicians.
and they're a good comedy team, those two.
Are they really? Are they really? That's neat. So, now here's the deal.
Okay.
You know this question because I ask it every week, but you haven't been asked it, and you need to be able to tell my audience. What are you going to do with those 12 kids? There's nobody left, just you and those 12 kids. What are you going to do with them?
Well, I would want to teach them about love and respect. I would want to do that through music, through singing. Because what I found out when I was in the theater is that when you're part of a musical, when you're part of that bigger thing and you're all in it together, there is a love that you find that is so we're all in this together kind of feeling.
Yes.
And so that's the feeling I would want to give them, because I think that's so important. And I think in the world we live in today, everything is so divisive. Everybody is calling people names, and if you don't believe what I believe, then you're a horrible person. And I just think, we've gone so far away from, we can all be different and all love each other. It's not too hard to do.
No, it's really easy to do. In the last song that you just did, it kind of alludes to politics. Do you think that if everybody voted for nobody this political season, that this country would be better off? I'm wondering if we should
I'm
write
nobody,
Mr.
then yes, but
Yay!
no, I think everybody should vote for somebody, and they should vote for who they believe is going to be the best candidate to represent us. Now, that being said, I'm not really happy with the choices that we have.
Right, I'm not either.
Okay, but I think not voting is not an option.
I agree.
So through my whole life of voting, I've mostly voted against the person I didn't want to win the most. This time I'm not going to go that route because there's two that I don't want to win the
Right.
most. So I'm going to take a different route this time, but I think everybody should do what they feel is best. I don't want to tell everybody they should do what I do, because
Right.
that's not democracy. Democracy is everybody.
Everybody do what you
Right,
think
and
is
you
the right
don't
thing.
have to
Put your
hate
opinion in.
the other people that don't agree with your position.
Right. I think the biggest thing that we see with the political arena right now is a lot of anger and hatred. Things that was awesome. Oh, I love live television. I just think that it's really important. For those of you that didn't get that, it's really important. Know the candidates, know all the candidates, and get out and vote. You don't have to vote the way the majority votes. You can vote however you want. But even if you don't like anybody on the ballot, vote some way. It's important that we have our opinion left to share. If we can't vote, then it's just, I don't know.
And if you can't find anybody, you can always vote for nobody, and I'll be happy to be a write-in candidate. But
I
assure you I won't win.
I'm going to vote for, that's it. I'm writing in nobody. Nobody Mattson. I love that. I love that. Jeff, I think that you coming on this side of the camera is, I think we should do it once per season.
Okay.
Okay?
I would love to.
I love having you. Maybe you can get your band to come and do the
Absolutely.
next show. That would be wonderful.
Absolutely. I
and
thought about
amazing.
that this time. I just didn't have the time to put that
No,
together.
you didn't. And well, that's my problem. But next time we'll plan it ahead and you can bring the band. Thank you so much for sharing your music and your time with us. And will you take us out with a song?
I sure will.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. Well, Jeff is going back. Remember, shop downtown, get out, get local, get live. Check out thehygienic.org. They still have movie night going on. Summer Flickers down on Wednesday night. I'm sure that you would enjoy that. Check out the Grandma's Attic Music Review Show on Facebook. Check out Grandma's Attic Radio Show on Facebook. And I'll see you all next week. Until then, God bless. Goodbye.
Okay. Since we were just talking about politics, this is not a political song, but it does kind of fit the political season because the main line of the song is, "Don't lend a hand to raise a flag atop a ship of fools." It's a song by the Grateful Dead. I went to see the captain, the strangest I could find. I laid my proposition down. I laid it on the line. No, I won't slave for beggars' pay, likewise gold and jewels. Well, I would slave to find a way to sink your ship of fools, a ship of fools on a cruel sea, a ship of fools sail away from me. Well, it was later than I thought when I first believed you. Now I cannot share your laughter, ship of fools. I saw your first ship sink and drown from rocking of the boat, and those who would not sink or swim were just left there to float. No, I won't leave you drifting down, but oh, it makes me wild. 53 years